Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Had to actually. At least we now know it's like, we're starting now.
We've been having
it starts
an adventure.
now. Yeah.
But this is Watch Now Live, CultureSmash Cast, episode 415.
That's my YouTube notifications.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's defaulting to the previous name, so I have to change that. So if you're watching this show now and you want to watch it again later, the name will be changed after the recording's done.
Okay.
That apparently is an issue going on with the live stream right now.
Not my fault.
Not your fault? Are you sure?
It's your fault.
I mean,
I'm just going to pull it up on my
I'm
phone
blame you
also.
anyway.
I was actually checking.
Just to make sure we're good to go.
Yeah, I see myself here. So.
Oh, God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's pretty horrifying.
I know. It sounds like the door's opening.
Yeah,
I looked, I was like, is a cat trying to get in?
Yeah, so it's...
Yeah, the live says episode 415.
I know.
That is that's 102 episodes ago.
Right? It is.
So that's something that we need to figure out after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we've never had this issue before. So this is weird. You know,
so
YouTube is a constant adventure.
That's one way to put it. So are we starting?
We are going to start. Let me just
On my
bring it.
Instagram, there's a
There we go.
picture, and I'll just read you
I'm ready.
the thing. It says, sometimes you can hear to throw a pair of scissors at your sister.
Okay.
Show in the aftermath, throw in a pair of scissors right at your sister.
This is my... This,
I mean, there's no plot.
I have no comment for you.
Are
we ready?
X-ray?
I'm ready.
You wanna see the X-ray?
No.
Yeah, Steven.
Here we go. On this episode of the CultureSmash Cast...
It's iPad, not iBad. Apple spoils any future murder mysteries.
Oh, there's some shakeups at Disney.
And there's a new Mangold in the Indiana Jones director chair.
Womp, womp, womp.
Disappointed.
Really?
Disappointed.
It was the best of
It
the
was
three.
your Deliverance.
It was the best of the three.
I'll take it.
I've seen better Deliverance in the South.
Nah. It's the CultureSmash Cast, episode 517. What is today's date? Because I didn't change the date.
Today is the 26th.
Okay. For February 26, 2020, I'm Stephen Lackey, editor of CultureSmash.tv.
Nicholas Qualls, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Tina Heinbach, contributor to CultureSmash.tv.
Zach Martin, a swearing child.
That's true.
That's true. That has never changed.
I recently contributed a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
Month and a half ago? No,
Yeah.
2 months?
Yeah,
2 months ago.
2 months ago. Perfect.
I mean, I might contribute more.
Yeah. So what's everybody been up to?
Reading, trying to buy a house.
Yeah. We saw a fantastic little 80s movie last week, which is why we took the week off.
Fantastic.
Hey, it was important. When else can you say you've seen that movie on 35 millimeter?
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
So, for the uninitiated, we saw The Keep, Michael Mann's The Keep, which is about Nazis in World War II being killed by an evil demon.
I'm still not sure
It's
the demon
not a
was
bad guy.
evil.
Yeah.
All he killed were Nazis.
All he killed was Nazis.
I would say he was definitely corruptible.
Well, I mean, we don't know what he was going to do next. He might have expanded his kill
I'm just saying the
ratio.
movie didn't justify him being an evil, air quote, bad guy. Everything that is shown to us is he's a good guy. Or at least he kills Nazis. So
He's killing Nazis.
When he said,
stopped him
kill
right-
your daughter, basically, because I want to be free, that's the moment of spoilers for The Keep for a film that's 40 years old.
That you can't get anywhere.
Can't get on DVD.
But you can watch it on Amazon Prime in a 4x3.
Yeah, cropped. Yeah.
But I mean, I think
It's not
that's
gonna
the
do
moment-
much
that's the
more
moment you
damage
realize
to that
this
movie.
guy is
That's
basically using
not an untrue statement.
this guy as means to an end, and that he would go on to basically say like, "Oh, the Nazis, yeah, I'll take them out. Who's the next person on that list?" And the next person, and the next person, and it would just never stop.
So, thinking about what you just said, though, actually, my favorite thing about The Keep is sort of the looking at it historically with Michael Mann's visual style in my head.
Yeah.
There's some opening shots in that movie. They're like, oh, yeah, that's Michael Mann. The first shot of them going in to The Keep is
That first,
Like the close up in
excellent.
the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
that's Michael Mann, and to crop that thing up in 4x3 would be destructive.
That would be pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, I was the only one who noticed the priest eating the dog. So
Which again is probably just because the Nazis there were so many soldiers there, more than this town is equipped for. So they probably ate all the food. So they had to eat something.
I mean, you get hungry.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's not necessarily the demonic creature causing more evil. It's the Nazis who were the bad guys.
I think we did decide that maybe the demonic creature is actually just Apocalypse.
Oh yeah. By the way, Ian McKellen is in this movie, and I love when you were first introduced to Ian McKellen. He's wearing aged makeup to
So he just looks like now.
He looks like regular Ian McKellen now. And later on, he gets healed by the demonic being so that hopefully he can get a favor in. So Ian McKellen looks really good when he's younger. Still has that silver hair, but he still looks really good. But yeah, it's like we got Magneto. The design of this creature when he takes a corporeal form looks like Apocalypse.
He looks like
It
Apocalypse.
looks like a weird Apocalypse meets Creature in the Black Lagoon love child.
Kinda, yeah.
I like
I gotta
that.
say, it was better than Oscar Isaac's. But
Yeah.
I don't blame Oscar Isaac for the mistakes of that movie.
No. And they had a scepter with a flashlight attached to the end. I mean, that's like the best.
Okay, so I told you this, but so I was again doing research on this film. The special effects supervisor, 2 weeks into post-production, died.
Yeah.
So nobody knew what he had planned for visual effects. They kind of just guessed, which is probably why it looks like a guy holding a flashlight. Like they were going to do something with it.
You would think they would just hire somebody else to manage it, but
You would think that too, but also this is way over production, like scheduling. and
but at that
everything.
point when he died, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Well,
I mean,
this movie
it
was
took over
All I
70
know-
days to film.
All I
Yeah.
know is now, like, there'll be times when we're trying to sleep and Nico just goes, sleep. I'm gonna murder you.
so if you get a chance to see The Keep, you should see it. It's an experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So because I love Michael Mann, and Michael
I do
Mann
not
is,
like Black Hat.
Black Hat is bad, but Collateral is really good.
Collateral's fantastic. I love
That's
Collateral.
Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Manhunter, also a really good movie. And when I think of Michael Mann, those are the two movies I think of. And what's great about those is they're almost bookends in his career. Because one of them is 80s and one of them was early
2004?
2000s? Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ish, 3, 4.
Tom Cruise actually played a villain. I mean, it
was good.
That's probably the only time
But he
that's
didn't
happened.
have an iPhone.
Yeah. Well, actually, not Once Upon a Time. What was the
Nice.
Interview with the Vampire?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it wasn't a segue.
He was kind of villainous in that.
He was kind of, but it wasn't like a straight up. That one's kind of a weird.
Gray area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gray area because he wasn't overtly evil. He was just, he was just a killer. But he wasn't trying to cause chaos like the group.
But
He's just hungry.
But yeah, like
Just hungry.
Collateral, he is explicitly the antagonist, and he is a bad guy.
Yeah, and he's
Just because
really
he's
good
a
in the
bad
role.
guy doesn't mean he is a bad guy.
guy.
But
Yeah.
he was.
All right, let's see the box office, shall we?
All right.
Mr. Qual.
Starting at number 10 on the list for this past weekend's box office, we've got The Photograph. It's made $2.7 million over the weekend with a total of $17.6 million.
What is this movie?
The Photograph is a drama, and it's about a woman who is doing research on her mother.
It's
and
a
she's
romance
photographer, and it turns into a
romance.
romance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Valentine's Day movie.
Yeah, it is Valentine's Day. It's out now, but it's specifically.
I'll be real. Like, the months of January and February are mostly, like, I'm not at the theater.
Oh, I've
new
seen
films.
10 films in the theater already,
I know.
and I am 6
You
films
said-
behind.
You said, I'm going to do it. Well, you enjoy your months of January and February. So
I have fun sitting in the theater. I don't care.
All right, number 9, Jumanji: The Next Level made another $2.8 million.
Still in the theater,
$310.8 million it's
it's got
made so far.
legs. It's got
It
legs.
does.
and it's not that good.
Number
The last 20 minutes. Is
number
pretty good.
8 is pretty good though. Parasite.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good.
$3 million it's made this
Coming
weekend.
off of its Oscar hype, right?
Oscar hype. It's made $48.8 million so far.
And now we're getting that Criterion version.
Yeah.
I saw someone went out and they bought the Blu-ray this past weekend. I'm like, oh man,
Wait, you gotta wait.
should have waited.
So I was looking into the 4K, and it's really funny when you start reading forums like on Blu-ray.com and whatever.
I've seen the screenshot comparisons. It's a big difference.
It's a big difference, but everybody's so pissed because there's no English subs.
Yeah, like, you can import the Blu-ray in.
But there's no English subs.
Unless you know German or French.
You're screwed. Yeah.
Number 7, 1917. 4.2 million. It's made 151.8 million.
I like this movie. It's good.
It's good.
That's a good movie.
Number 6, Fantasy Island. It made 4.2 million. Its total so far is 20.2 million.
You know,
Do you have anything to say?
So
You look like you have thoughts, Steven.
So the one thing I could say about this movie that may be shocking, it's not the worst movie I've seen so far this year. I'd rather watch Fantasy Island than Underwater.
Oh, wow.
Grudge or...
I didn't see The Grudge.
Oh, that's right.
But Fantasy Island, at least it has...
I'm interested to know which one you'd rather see, Color Out of Space or Underwater.
Well, I got to see Color Out of Space first.
Yeah.
But Fantasy Island has batshit crazy Michael Rooker in it.
That's great. That's always fun.
Yeah, he's the best part of the movie. It has Maggie Q, who I like in things. She was the TV version of La Femme Nikita.
You're right. She was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I liked that show, so I like her, but she's wasted in the movie.
Okay.
I mean, it's a bad movie. Don't go. It's bad.
Number 5, Brahms, The Boy 2. Made Brahms, whatever, made 5.8 million. It opened up new this weekend, so that's all it's made. 5.8 million.
Steven, do you have anything you'd like to say about
So
this movie too?
I saw this movie. And I
2
like
hours.
I can't think of her name now because of the movie. The main Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of like her and stuff or whatever. She's all right. It's funny. I didn't even see the original The Boy. I didn't see the first one, but I went to this one anyway, and it's fine because in the first 15 minutes they synopsize the entire first film.
So it is a straight up sequel.
It is a straight up sequel. But God help you if you like the first one, because they retcon the first one completely in the second one. 100% retcon it. They tell you what the first one was about, and then they rip the floor right out from under it in the second movie. Yeah.
Ballsy.
Yeah. So ballsy but boring.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that even that it's
If you had to pay $11 to see it.
Oh God, I'd be pissed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there's our review.
Yeah, that's
But I used my Real Limited, and I was like, it wasn't Underwater. Everything goes against Underwater until I see something worse.
Until you see Color of Space, yeah.
So maybe till I see Color of Space.
Probably.
But yeah, it's if you're a fan of the franchise, you probably should see it. Just so
the franchise, it's one movie. So
now it's two.
Can we talk to someone who's a fan of The Boy?
Don't people like that movie? Some people they made a sequel. Some people saw the first one.
Did you see the first one?
No.
Nico, did you see the first one? How about you, Tina? Well, I sure
Not
didn't.
even you? I expected you to have seen it.
Tina, your head shaking is very evident on the audio version of the
All right, let's move forward. There's not much to really talk about. It's just a bad movie.
Number 4, Bad Boys for Life.
Best movie I've seen this year so far.
5.8 million so far. It's made.
It's really funny.
5.8 million so far for the weekend. It's made 191 million so far for its release.
I mean, literally, after all these years, they still slipped right back into that chemistry from the first film.
Number 3, Birds of Prey. Oh, actually, this should be renamed now, shouldn't it?
Yeah,
it's
it should
Harley
be.
Quinn
And the Birds of Prey.
and the Birds of Prey, but
It's just Harley Quinn,
colon Birds of Prey, or Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It made 6.8 million. It's made 72.3 million so far.
Stop seeing this movie.
Yeah. It's
Number
bad.
2, new this weekend, The Call of the Wild. It's made 24.7 million, and that's all it's made so far.
So I almost saw this movie because I was trying to fill a space the other day, but I just.
The one you missed.
But it's like there's not a real dog in the movie.
There's
no dog
in this movie.
Not only is there no dog, but there is no live animal in this movie, like live main animal.
There's
like the wolves are CGI, like any other.
I saw some behind the scenes footage. I don't even think there's any real outside. It looks like it was shot all on green screen.
Well, I mean, that's how you get Harrison Ford to say yes to it, as it'll be on stage, and he goes, "All right."
I hate to break it to you, but the next one doesn't have a real animal either. Number 1 is Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's understandable.
It has a real animal. The
was
dog
gonna-
is real.
There is a dog, right?
Sonic the Hedgehog isn't
raccoons are
real.
real.
So the thing with Sonic
Well,
is
let's get numbers.
Okay.
It made $26.1 million. So far, total at $106.4 million.
Yeah, it opened up big last week.
everything says that movie should suck, and
It's good.
I think looking at it from an adult film critic perspective, it's meh. But looking at it from a kid's movie or somebody who really loves the video games, it's pretty good.
It's
not
a
bad.
serviceable, cute movie. It is
It's
what
a
it
lot
needs to
better
be.
than it had any right to be.
And it was fun to see Jim Carrey back in
Oh he
yeah.
stole the movie.
being what made him interesting as a comedian.
Yeah.
It was him back in his space, and
And it has one of my favorite lines in it.
Yeah?
Where it's something like, I was writing formulas when you were still drinking formula. And then dude goes, well, I was breastfed. And he goes, yeah, shove that in my orphan face.
That line was brilliant. It's like that's a massive backstory drop. I didn't realize it was going to get in this movie.
that was when I literally
There
did.
is a lot of information you can pick up on that.
Yeah.
I mean,
one
and
line.
the way it hits in the movie, it was like, it really got
It's a
me.
gut punch.
Yeah. And just his body language and stuff is hilarious because they put he controls literally every gadget on the planet from this glove, and he's always walking around clicking it because it's buttons all over his hand, and
It's like I
just
always thought the Power Glove was a Nintendo device.
Yeah, it is like a power glove. It's funny, it's cute, it's
And it's got nods. If you're a fan of the franchise, a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, you'll pick up on a
Is
few
there
of
a
the things.
Biggs the cat?
No, there's not a Biggs the Cat reference.
0 out of
Did you
10.
guys stay
I will
through the
not-
credits?
Yes.
Because there is a post-credit scene that's people applauded in my theater during the
yeah.
post-credit scene. Yeah.
I mean, I called it as soon as the post-credit scene started. I was like, oh, this is it. This is where
Yeah,
so-and-so.
I was waiting for it too.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it too. But yeah, it's cute. It's
He ate chili dogs. That's all I needed.
He did.
I mean, if I'm gonna really put my film critic headset on or whatever,
Get your gun out.
I mean, it's
get your
probably
knives out.
it's a 5 out of 10.
But yeah, it's fine.
It's
I mean,
5 out of 10.
I was honestly fearing that it'd be like a 3.
I was expecting a 2 or 3.
Well,
yeah.
Usually with these, you piss
I'd
off
say like
not only the
6.
fans, but you piss off the general audiences too. If you can just make at least the fans happy with a video game movie,
I think this movie does a good job of pleasing the fans while letting everybody else go just at least be okay.
And take their kids to a movie.
Yeah.
I will take
Yeah.
that baby step if it means we get a little bit better here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think,
progress,
I think
yeah.
it is. All right.
And it's set up for another one, so we'll see.
All right. Well, what else is being set up coming out this weekend?
What's coming out this weekend?
This weekend, shocking, we have The Invisible Man.
Which I'm hearing good things about. Which
91% Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm probably going to be seeing that Friday.
Metacritic is 70, which is still a pretty
Good.
Pretty high for
R-rated
Well,
horror
and
film.
I like the lead actress and stuff. I love her in *Handmaid's Tale*, so she's the only good 20 minutes, or not even 20, the only good 5 minutes of Us is
Yes.
her parts
Yeah,
of Us are the
her
best.
Role is really good.
Yeah,
70 Metacritic, which is pretty
pretty good
Yeah.
for a Blumhouse horror movie.
Blumhouse R-rated horror film. Blumhouse making something R-rated. Gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Windy, which is that Peter Pan thing from the director of Beasts of the Southern Wild.
I don't know anything about it.
I don't know that one
Did
either.
anyone see Beasts of the Southern Wild?
No.
Okay, well, if you hated that movie,
Well, I don't have an opinion. I didn't see
then
it.
it looks like more of that.
Oh,
yeah.
52% Rotten Tomatoes, 55 Metacritic.
Doesn't sound good.
And we have the Jesus Rolls, which I think is
That's
limited.
already out?
I thought it was like November this year. It's apparently on Rotten Tomatoes. They have it coming out this week.
Like
And I'm
the trailer just came out like 2 weeks ago.
You said the Jesus rolls?
yeah, nobody fucks with the Jesus.
No. Nobody fucks with the Jesus.
It's a spin-off sequel to The Big Lebowski.
It
Okay.
doesn't.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Jesus.
It doesn't look
So
good.
doesn't.
I legit thought it was going to be some weird. This is the skin of
Like
Christ.
an interview. Like
Like-
I thought it was
Communion.
I thought it was about a Jesus baker.
33% Rotten Tomatoes and
The Coen Brothers
57.
did not
Had
make
nothing
this
to do with
by
this
the way.
movie. No.
But it doesn't look like a Coen Brothers movie. It doesn't sound like a Coen Brothers movie. It doesn't have a style of a Coen Brothers
This
movie.
is just him wanting to
Be the character.
be the character again, yeah. And I really wanted the Coen brothers to do this movie. I think when they first started talking about it, if they had done it and brought that character back, it would have been interesting.
There's enough material for that character.
Well, you would have to create material.
The Coen brothers
material, yeah.
I think he works best. That character works best in small spouts, just like in The Big Lebowski, to where he'll just show up and you have 8-year-olds, dude.
Yeah.
And you have a laugh, but you realize that's kind of the end of that character.
Well, and the thing about the movie and the trailer, outside of it looking bad, because it just looks bad.
Cheap.
It looks really cheap.
Well, you could do it. What you do is you make an ensemble piece in essentially centered around the bowling alley, and he's like the one key thing that's around the ensemble, but you just focus on all the other characters.
Well, it looks like they try to make him more sympathetic in this movie, and that's not that character. I mean, he's a pedophile. How are they going to answer that part of it?
8-year-olds.
What they're going to do, I guarantee you what they're going to do is they're going to retcon it. They're going to say
where he didn't
really do it. Yeah, I guarantee you that's what they're going to do.
And that would ruin Big Lebowski, because that's the joke.
Yeah, because if they don't retcon it, then how are we going to be sympathetic to this character for 2 hours?
By not watching it.
Yeah.
There we go.
Which is what's going to happen.
Solved.
Yep.
All right.
Tina,
Film ball?
Film ball.
Yeah, so update on the Q1, quarter 1, 2020 film ball is as follows. With a big old goose egg is Zach and Hector Jr.
Hey, I'm
but
coming.
you're coming
I'm
up
coming.
because you have Mulan coming up.
Y'all better get a nice head start, because here I come. Gonna be head start hedgehog over here.
Oh, there is definitely a head start.
Yeah. Yep. Number 6 with 17.5 million is me.
You.
Hector is sitting at 5 with 53.1 million. Steven, you're right above Hector at 4 with 58.6 million.
Perfect.
Nathan is number 3 with 98.4 million. Number 2 is Sarah with 185.2 million. And number 1, somebody please dethrone this mother, is Nico.
Yeah.
You could swear your mom's not listening.
It's true.
Oh, I hope not. Well, she is, because she's dead. So, but 266.5 million.
You stepped in it.
She's always listening.
Yeah. Stepped in it.
Rewind 30 seconds. Okay, continue.
Oh, no.
No. Yeah.
Tape over that?
Yeah. I do not expect to stay in the lead.
No.
But I am going to enjoy that sweet, sweet blue hedgehog money while I've got it.
Enjoy that monies.
Yes.
All right.
The one thing that Nathan thought he was just going to crush it, and his movies are not doing very well.
No.
He's still up there, but
he
will be deep.
To be fair, I thought Doolittle was going to do really well, and it did little.
Yeah,
So
it did do little.
He
That's
is
true.
using that joke.
It's a pretty good joke, though.
yeah.
It's pretty good. Might as well wear it out.
Totally.
Especially when it makes you...
The movie's
react
not
like
doing
that.
anything else for me. I might as well.
All right, let's do this.
All right.
All right, Tina,
So,
you're up next.
Ryan Johnson reveals in a new interview with Vanity Fair an interesting mandate Apple has on movie productions. Bad guys and villain characters in films are not allowed to be seen using iPhones.
Spoilers.
Yep.
Did you put out a spoiler alert?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Continue.
The reveal was made as Johnson was breaking down a pivotal scene from his most recent directorial effort, Knives Out. The scene,
Spoilers for Knives Out!
I will put this knife in. I swear
No,
to God.
I'm saying because the next sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a spoiler. So
Yeah, but
fast forward about 20 seconds if
Yeah.
you don't want to know.
Yeah.
the scene is when Ransom Drysdale, who's played by Chris Evans, arrives at the Thrombey household, and all of the main characters converge for the first time. And several characters are seen holding iPhones, including Jamie Lee Curtis, and pretty much the entire rest of the cast has an iPhone. Except Ransom. Why? Because he is a killer. Knives Out viewers know that Ransom is the killer at the center of Johnson's murder mystery, which means the character was prohibited from being featured in Knives Out with an iPhone.
Did he have a phone at all?
Yes.
Does it say what he had?
I don't know if it says the model.
Yeah, I'd be curious.
There's an easy fix for this.
What?
Don't use iPhones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, don't make it like everyone except bad guys have iPhones. Like give some good guys
Here's
Androids.
the problem with this. Now I'm gonna know, and now I'm gonna look
In
for
every
it.
film from now on.
I'm going to look for it.
Yeah.
Distracting.
Whether I want to
myself.
look for it or not, it's just going to be a
Yeah,
thing.
I agree.
everybody had an iPhone, and now here's this character without an iPhone. Oh, I know who the killer
Ryan
is.
Johnson just constantly keeps ruining movies. He's terrible.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
He's just
He
terrible.
subverted my expectations
not-
of this shit.
Yeah, I mean this.
What, I expect
I
the
don't know.
director to not spoil
I
other
also
films.
kind of
He
blame-
subverted that by saying, "I'm going to spoil fucking every film."
Every film.
I'm also going to place some of the blame on Apple at this point.
Yeah.
Well, no, for sure,
No.
but they didn't reveal it.
Yeah.
It
It's
wasn't
not like
out.
Apple came out and said this. This was probably in a contractual obligation, and Ron Johnson was like, "I'm going to ruin something."
Now, what I will say is, on the Apple side, this really annoys me.
Yeah.
Because this reminds me of, it actually reminds me of a video game reference. When Gran Turismo for the PlayStation was coming out, who was it, Porsche? Or like one of those
high-end ones.
said you couldn't show damage on their cars. It's stupid.
man.
Why can't the
You know
villain...
how many Porsches I've wrecked? None, because I can't afford a Porsche.
Exactly. But what are we going to do now? And you're going to continue to see iPhones in these movies because that's monies.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Sponsorship.
funding.
But it's still
Yeah.
very much
Product
it's like the easy answer is give iPhones to your star. Your star gets an iPhone. You know they're not the bad guy. No one else gets an iPhone.
Yeah,
Which
but
is-
now I'm going to be looking for it.
yeah, but you'll be looking for everybody else having an Android because they don't give everyone else an iPhone.
If 5 characters are using Samsung Galaxy and like 2 characters are using a OnePlus 6T, who's the killer?
Who's
You
the
don't
killer?
know.
Yeah, it's just you.
Just stop making every person under the sun have a
Yeah,
iPhone.
so either this is great for Google and all
Exactly.
of the Android producers, or Apple will get the stick out from their ass and let villains have iPhones.
I feel like I
I will
wish...
love it. The first movie that has a villain with an iPhone using an
We're going
iPhone.
to point it out and go, "Ha
There
Yeah,
it
it's like
is.
everyone's gonna go, "Oh my god, he has an iPhone. He's the bad guy. I didn't see it coming."
I wish they would just get sponsorship from somewhere else and have their special effects people make generic phones.
Just give everybody a Windows phone.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
Make it
That's what
BlackBerry.
Make it orange banana."
BlackBerry, that's it. Yeah.
Sidekicks.
I mean, BlackBerry still works. Yeah.
This is...
Nokias.
I don't. Why would Ryan Johnson say this though?
He does
I don't
say,
think it's-
"I don't know if I should say this or not."
Yeah, but
you're having to ask yourself,
you know what?
say that.
I do not think it's nearly as big of a deal as you guys are making it out.
Well, but
it's particularly
not only
sad.
that,
It's distracting though now.
Not only that, but it also says every single filmmaker who has a bad guy in their movies that's supposed to be a secret wants to murder me right now. So he's doing this.
He's doing it on purpose.
Maliciously.
Complete ass.
A douche, yeah, for sure. For sure. He's trying to ruin everybody's movie for the next 10 years. Movies that are already in production for the next 2.
I mean,
They can't do anything about it.
That now, the movies that are in post, they're sitting there. Those editors sitting there going, "Oh fuck."
Yeah, because there's nothing to be done. You could go in and CG out the
Wait, that's going to
the
cost
phone.
money now.
Well, but
Because
you
this asshole
but
has-
wait, you can't though because you've already got those Apple dollars for the product placement. So you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck.
You are literally screwed.
Yeah. Now, if it's a movie where the villain isn't a mystery, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
But if it's a mystery,
But
Yeah.
there's also not
Yeah.
It's
too.
a classic whodunit. Like half the point of going to see those movies is guessing who the killer is.
and you can't get by making a movie nowadays without
Especially-
cell phones in it.
Yeah, I mean, granted, this part's not going to be an issue just because of the time period, but especially with the rise of more Agatha Christie-like movies coming out, because this year we have Death on the Nile, which is
Yeah, and I'm going to be looking for their cell phones in that movie so
Yeah,
much.
perfectly. Yeah.
I said it won't matter for this one because of the time period, you ass. But I honestly feel like those movies are starting to make a bit more of a comeback.
They are.
So if somebody has that on the slate for the next couple of years, they're just screwed.
Well, I hope they're doing a period piece where there's no cell phones. Because, yeah, now anybody with an eye for detail, even my blind ass, will see who the villain is based off their phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember freaking Jurassic World. It's like they were using iPhones.
Everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who didn't use an iPhone?
Who?
The dinosaurs.
True.
Dun,
That's-
dun, dun.
Well, actually, you don't know whether they did or not because they had Bluetooth headsets.
Actually, they were using Samsung S5s. I remember that.
All right.
No, other characters in the movie were using the S5. But that was a new phone at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That phone sliced my fingers so many times.
All right.
Well, it's not your problem anymore then.
But what's your problem, Nico?
My problem is after a long development process, Steven Spielberg is handing over the director reins on Indiana Jones 5.
I have no issue with this.
I have no problem
I have
whatsoever.
some issue with this, but according to Variety, this is, by the way, the first time it will have been one of the movies have been
This
directed
episode
by.
brought to you by Variety News.
Yeah, it's been directed by somebody else. Variety has sources saying that it's going to be James Mangold, director of Ford vs. Ferrari or Logan. and talks to take the job.
That's where I have a problem with it.
Logan's great.
Because those are
Logan's
slow
great.
paced.
Yeah, Logan.
Ford v Ferrari is apparently good.
Ford v Ferrari is good, not great. I mean, I liked it, but it's not something I'm going to
barely
be.
enough to get nominated for Best Picture.
This is the thing. Indiana Jones has always been a fast-paced, like, actiony film.
It is an adventure.
Well, somebody pull up James Mangold's IMDb real quick.
Both Ford versus Ferrari and what was the other
Logan.
one?
I'm pretty sure
Logan
this
were
director has
slow
done some
burns.
other stuff.
Well,
3:10 a Yuma.
didn't
A
he
slow
also
Western.
did The Wolverine, and that was a more actiony one too.
Yeah, but it's a. Well, actually, no.
The Wolverine,
The Wolverine
Wolverine's okay.
itself is pretty good till the last 15 minutes.
It's just the last 15. Yeah, it's otherwise pretty
Walk
decent.
the Line, which is not an action movie.
No.
Yeah.
How about Night and Day?
Night and Day is an action movie, and that is a highly underrated movie.
Identity.
Identity is a slower paced movie.
Copland.
So
Copland is a drama.
Girl Interrupted.
Okay.
Spielberg is supposedly going to be a hands-on producer on the project, so he's still going to be around. The decision to leave is apparently entirely Spielberg's.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Ford is still on the project. He told recently CBS Sunday Morning that they're planning to start it in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if that happens.
Are they going to have Shia LaBeouf kill him?
That'd be awesome.
That would be quite
So the
fascinating.
one question that I will say is, of those movies that you read, what do they have in common?
Drama,
James Mangold.
Character studies.
Well, the thing I see that stands out to me is they're all varying levels of good to great. They're good
I have not
movies.
seen a lot of those.
I've seen every single one of those movies, and they are, of the ones you listed, I'm sure he's done plenty of bad ones too, because
Kate and Leopold?
that one you didn't list. I haven't seen that one.
It's all right, but it's a romance.
But you know, they're good character pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, if he ramps up the action, if you haven't seen Night and Day,
So-
Night and Day is a good movie. It reminds me of like Jewel of the Nile, Romancing the Stone.
Well,
So if he does-
with the character pieces, though, like this is Indiana Jones doesn't need a character piece.
We know.
His villain does.
Well, I don't know.
His villain needs some development.
So,
For sure.
By the way, George Lucas is not expected to be a part of this movie.
Best part of the article, completely. Yeah.
So, yeah, I would rather have them not do an indie movie because it's such a them thing. It's such a Spielberg and Harrison and
I
even
swear to
Lucas
God, if they
respect.
bring aliens again, I am leaving the theater.
It's such a them thing that it's kind of hard to capture that magic with another team. But
But they didn't capture it.
they didn't
Obviously,
capture
that's
us.
what with the last
Exactly.
movie.
That's why it's so difficult. But
Yeah.
the other thing is that the reverse thing, the thing I was thinking about more is like if they do a Logan version of Indy, like that whole like last hurrah kind of slow burn character
here's the
thing.
problem you're going to face, which is and this depends on if you consider Kingdom of the Crystal Skull canon.
Yes,
They mentioned-
unfortunately,
It's
yes.
canon,
It is canon. So they mention also the Adventures of Young Indiana Jones and that, making that canon. And in that TV show, we know he grows up to be like 97.
He goes up
years
to me,
old.
which
So
that could be
you
him.
can't kill him off at the end of this movie.
Yeah, he doesn't have to
He
necessarily
doesn't have to die.
And it could be that
That
it could
would
be
be
that journey.
shock.
It could be that version of Indy, like right before that happens, and is like the bit because he does. Harrison Ford comes back for a very small segment in the Young Indiana Jones. And he's got aged makeup, beard, and stuff like that.
Eye patch and everything.
Yeah, I think he did have the eye patch. That'd be
movie
great.
that
Oh,
he loses.
that would be great.
There's
It's
an
the movie where he
orange
loses the
Well,
eye.
let's pop his eye out in
That'd
this
be so
movie.
great.
That'd be
There's
awesome.
an orange cat. He loses it to an orange cat. They've already introduced aliens. I am just saying.
Okay, so let me make one comment about that.
They bring it into the MCU.
There are plenty of issues with Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. There are problems. Most of them, for me, sit on Shia LaBeouf's shoulders because I don't like him in the movie.
Actually, those are not the.
I
they're-
disagree with
But-
Shia LaBeouf. I say writing.
Okay, well, but the idea, the concept of bringing aliens into the Raiders franchise is not a big deal.
Not a big deal. Implementation.
When
and
they do
execution.
the stupid CGI flying saucer flying from the pyramid,
Execution and
but here's the
implementation,
thing about
that's
that.
the problem.
Yes.
And this has been the argument from the beginning, and I just don't understand it, is when you look at what the Raiders movies are supposed to be, they are riffs on some really crappy looking serials that had flying saucers hanging with strings. So the fact that something looks a little hokey or funny, Temple of Doom had some bad effects in it too.
I think
that stuff doesn't bother me. Some of the writing
wasn't made in the fucking teens.
Well, okay. I think
no, but you know what I mean, though.
Crystal Skull was like 2004, so not
Yeah.
2008. But still,
Yeah,
but no,
that stuff doesn't bother me as much.
I do think there was a genre misplacement because the other Indiana Jones movies, while they are based on those kind of serials, those are not sci-fi movies.
Yes.
No, but to bring that element into a serial is not that big a deal. I'm telling you, had it been written a little better, it wouldn't have been an
I agree.
issue.
It would not have been as bad of an issue, but it is still a weird juxtaposition.
Yeah, I agree with you and Nico here. It's basically when you go into the bonus features, they talk about how they wanted to not make a serial.
Chopped liver.
Tina, he doesn't agree with Tina.
They did not want to make a serial from the 30s with Kingdom of Crystal Skull. They wanted to make a 50s sci-fi B movie. That was their goal.
Yeah.
And they failed spectacularly at that because sci-fi 50s B movies is somebody in a lab for 80% of the movie, and then at the very end there's a monster attacking a city. That's a sci-fi 50s B movie.
Well, the problem with Kingdom of Crystal Skull, I sit completely on Shia LaBeouf on the camera because I did not like him in the movie, and behind the camera, George Lucas. George Lucas hasn't done a good movie.
Fingerprints are all over.
It's like, let's shoot everything on blue screen.
You're right.
Everything.
The George
and
Lucas
don't make
stuff.
it realistic CGI too. Make it the shiny one.
Yeah. No, I wholeheartedly agree with that too.
Like the prequels.
But no, even still, you're right. They went for a B movie, 50 sci-fi movie instead of a 30 serial. The audience didn't want a 50s. They wanted more Indiana Jones.
We weren't sold on that.
Yeah.
We didn't want that. They didn't tell us that was it.
So, and my feelings on that are mixed. I mean,
I'm fine
if
with
it's
doing
if it's what they it's their franchise, they're making the films. If that's what they want to do, I'm fine with it. But do it well.
Yeah,
and it wasn't done well.
Yeah, that's it.
60s
that's exactly what it is.
drug field trip now?
Yeah, no, actually, that would be cool. If you want to do that, if you are going to subvert audience expectations, if your plan is to take the character you like, some of the tropes, but put it in a whole new spin, you better do it good, and they didn't.
Especially with a character as well beloved as Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So the things that I did like is, Harrison Ford I liked, although I have some funny. I will always
problems with him.
Yeah, we'll always have a funny feeling about Harrison Ford though, because you look at in that movie him doing some like badass action move, and then he walks away from it like an old man. I mean, you can't get the old man walk out.
Get ready for more of that.
Yeah, but I liked what's her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name.
Karen Allen?
No.
Kate Blanchett?
Yeah,
Kate Blanchett is the bad guy.
I like
the Soviet.
She had anything?
It's because it's
writing. I don't think she's
no.
a bad actor in the movie. Like,
No, I love. Well, that's the point I'm making. Is I love Kate Blanchett. It's the directing, because we've seen that.
Writing. I don't think she was given anything really.
Well, and then there's a weird focus on trying to be
but
be too cute, like the beginning with the refrigerator thing or whatever.
Also, this movie is like you two going back and forth, writing, directing. This is a very tight writing directing duo with Lucas and Spielberg. So it's hard to say it's the writing or the directing.
But it does pay into the fact of reason why. I mean, I get your feeling about not necessarily being happy about replacing the director, but to me, if you're going to do another one.
You see, I guess that's it. If you're
time.
I think Spielberg could do it. I kind of wanted him to have the opportunity to kind of make up.
But here's the problem here.
I guess I could see that. If Spielberg is just directing and you take Lucas out of it completely, then maybe.
Yeah.
Because he's still got chops. Spielberg is still doing quality work.
Now, all this being said, I know for a fact all of us are going to go see it.
100%.
Yeah.
I'll buy the ticket now. Yeah, I'm going to go.
Most likely, but I'm still like... The problem here is, again, if we go back to writing, it was story by George Lucas, screenplay by David Coe. Here, we don't have a story writer, and our screenplay writer is not Lawrence Kasdan.
It's Lawrence Kasdan's son.
Yeah.
And just...
So his only credit right now is Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the moment where he's like, I don't have a last name. Oh, you'll be Han...
Okay,
Solo.
so wait.
Right,
Yeah, but
I thought that was Lawrence who pushed
his son
that.
was his son was the main one. He came in and
But
touched up.
so we're going to get more into this particular subject later. But they were also in the walled garden that Disney had created for that franchise too.
I still believe the choices made in Solo of like how to get his blaster, how to get his name, those can be changed.
Yeah.
You still have a character that has to gain this material by the end of the film.
Yeah.
But how you do that is important.
Right.
Yeah,
But-
it is.
because we
No, it is.
throw to him.
But
And not everybody's Joe Hill. Joe Hill is almost as good a writer as his father.
I am still skeptical though about how much of that was, I forget the kid Kasdan's name, but versus Lawrence Kasdan. I know Lawrence Kasdan came in for touch-ups, but it's hard to say what that was.
But I mean, Lawrence Kasdan is a great name to bring up in the discussion, though, because the best Star Wars movie is Empire.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
and,
he wrote it.
He wrote it, and
he
Lucas
also wrote
and
Force
Lucas
Awakens.
Lucas brought in a different director. But I mean, this is my point: is sometimes of the franchise you have to take the people who made it out of it.
Yeah,
because
that's fair. That's a fair point.
they get too tunnel visioned with
That's entirely fair.
it. And James Mangold, if his IMDb doesn't prove anything else, it proves that he can do character.
I think the one thing that I'm kind of worried about is that replacing any of the trinity of Indiana Jones, the Lucas, Spielberg, and Ford, but the lesser degree, I'm fine with Lucas just stepping away.
Yeah.
But if you start losing then two of the three, so the
Yeah.
stool only has the one leg of Ford, eventually you're going to get rid of Ford. And I don't think the franchise needs to go past that.
You know what? Let's hit that button, that big red button.
Get rid of Ford?
Let's reboot the series.
But I don't-
Right? That's what
and
I was
in that-
No, I just don't want any more
because
movies.
Disney will do it.
I know they will.
And
That's the
that
problem.
annoys me because we don't have
Chris
to.
Pratt in there.
If we
I would
want
be fine with Indiana Jones, but Indiana is now like his granddaughter.
Hey, we got Tomb Raider.
I mean, you got Tomb Raider.
I mean, but that does fall into the point, though, is why reboot it if you're going to take away the Trinity that you're talking about? Just do a new franchise. I mean, they're doing that Uncharted thing with Tom Holland right now.
Crap, it's been taking what? 15
Well,
years.
apparently
to get there?
it's happening now. It's,
For real this
yeah,
time?
it's. I think it's already in
Oh,
production.
it lost its director again.
I don't know.
I
But,
wonder if that's a deal that Tom Holland made to get Spider-Man fixed.
yeah,
I wonder it's like, all right, I'll do Uncharted or something. Just
exactly.
all right.
I don't know, but Tina, you're the one who's the most right. We're all going to go see it regardless.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
And after we see it, that's when we can really dissect it.
That's when we'll have an entire show
Yeah.
about just that movie for sure.
all right,
Yeah.
Zach.
All right, Zach, you
next
got a
up.
Oh
Yeah, sorry.
Let's just hope Disney doesn't screw it up.
Oh, they're going to screw
Well,
it up.
speaking of Disney,
You're welcome.
it's the end of an era at Walt Disney Company. The conglomerate on Tuesday said that it has named Bob Chapek as its next CEO, succeeding Bob Iger immediately. Iger is assuming the role of executive chairman and will lead the board through its contract end on December 31st, 2021. Chapek, who has been at the company since '93, has been chairman of Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products since 2018. Since Iger took over as CEO of Disney in 2005, he has presided over a period of dramatic expansion for the company, leading buys for Pixar, Marvel, Lucasfilm, specifically Star Wars. That
Also
strategy,
indie.
yeah,
Indie,
and
yeah.
also indie. That strategy, a focus on acquiring franchise intellectual property, paid off. In 2019 alone, Disney films grossed an unprecedented $13 billion at the global box office,
With a B.
including 7 blockbusters going past $1 billion. Essentially, this guy oversaw the biggest period of Disney.
He's been the most influential head of Disney
Outside of
since
Walt
Disney.
Disney.
Yes.
So the guy that they're replacing him with seems like he has the experience. He's actually
He's
been
the guy
in management of every division, including Disney Entertainment.
yeah.
So he's been doing, the parks and everything, which, I mean, can't complain.
I will say,
Yeah, the park's great.
just to tangent real quick, we've all seen Imagineering Story, right?
All the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was surprised on how involved the Disney CEO is with the parks. Or at least how much the documentary implies.
Implied
That,
it.
yeah.
It sure implied it, yeah. Well, and they had footage of him with the Imagineers doing.
Yeah, and Eisner too, and Roy Disney.
Eisner felt like his hands were all over a lot of things.
Yeah, much to the chagrin to a lot of people who were fans of the Disney parks who worked there at the time, as I'm aware of. So that's, one, bringing in a guy who his last job was the parks.
Yeah.
Definitely underscores like how big of a project, how big of a part of the company the Disney parks are.
Yeah.
I've read some people online today say that now that Bob Iger's out, Star Wars will start to be good again. I'm like, I don't think.
But Bob Iger is not out. In fact, he's going to have more of a hand in the creative side than he had before.
Well, I don't blame Bob Iger for Star Wars though.
I 100%. See, here's the thing: is people who
you 100% what? There's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, I was going to try to get there because it's bigger than just to say it. But a lot of people who love Disney love him because he saved the company in a lot of ways. But I have never been a fan of him because I feel like one, he grew Disney, by trampling over the entertainment industry in every aspect, from parks to film to TV.
We joke about it, but comments like, "Oh, the mouse will shut that down." It's like it's
real,
terrifying,
and it's real. We lost Lucasfilm as their own company. We lost Fox as their own company. We lost Pixar as their own company, all because instead of investing in Disney IP and creating unique IP, they just went out and bought stuff. I feel like Disney's not even a unique company.
Some of those make sense. I think the Pixar deal made a lot of sense because all the movies were distributed by Disney. They were Disney movies made by Pixar. And in the Imagineering story, again, they go into Bob Iger explains, all of our theme parks, they have, Buzz Lightyear people in costumes. That's what's there. Why don't we just own it outright? Yeah. So that makes a lot of sense. But when you get to these whole cloth other entities like Marvel and then Lucasfilms and
then
Fox,
all the other smaller creative companies that they've bought that no one even really talks that much about. I mean, I just think it has a lot of impact. And you start look at Disney in the last 10 years. What big IP do they have that they didn't buy? Frozen.
Yeah, Frozen.
That's it. I was thinking about it today. I'm like,
yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. But it was bolstered.
Was not as big as Frozen.
But it was also bolstered by IPs that they don't own.
Right. Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph was a pop culture riff, like Shrek. Without pop culture, you have no Wreck-It Ralph.
Zootopia did well. I wouldn't say it was.
Zootopia is not a big IP.
Yeah,
it was big. It didn't really have much impact.
But yeah, I mean, they've got Star Wars and they've got all the Marvel stuff. It's like stuff that they bought.
There's something else, I just can't think of it.
But I was thinking about it, I'm like, okay, Frozen. That's really it. And it's, I'm not, I understand, he's a business guy first. And that's where his mind came from. And
that is his responsibility, to grow the company and make profits.
And he said that, and I think it's actually in the article, that he said in his book, or I may have seen that in a video earlier today. In his book, he says that was my goal was to make money for the shareholders. That is all, when he started. And you can just feel that he did that in sort of the heart of what I think Disney's supposed to be, kind of got pushed to the side in favor of just becoming a monopoly, buying up all the competition and squashing them and churning out generic stuff. When you
generic Marvel films that are at best a 7 out of 10.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them.
Some of them are the top movies of
some of them, and
not
some
all. I'm really the first one that says not all Marvel films are 7 out of 10, but majority of them.
Marvel has survived the Disney machine better than Star Wars.
Well, because you had somebody who had a plan and it basically had the balls to go up and say, no, we're going to do this.
So anyway, but part of me wanted to be happy about this, but he's just moving more into creative now.
I'm not happy or sad. I don't really have. It's a big news story for us to talk about, but in terms of personal investment in it, I would have to wait to see what Chippeck does. With in regards to these other properties that I am more invested in, like the Marvel properties and where we go with Star Wars and stuff. And Star Wars might be going in a good direction. I mean, the stuff that's coming out with Star Wars immediately could just be the tail end of all the stuff that happened under Iger.
And I'm sure
we're getting Clone Wars just had its last season. A new season of Clone Wars, which is probably the best Star Wars material that came out in the last 20 years.
I guess I need to look at that.
And then their current initiative, the High Republic, is getting as far away from Skywalker as possible.
I will disagree with you on Clone Wars.
What is the best Star Wars material that's been released in the last 20 years?
Force Awakens?
No,
wait, hold on. Excuse me.
How dare you?
I would like to rephrase Rogue One. Because I went to see Star Wars: The Clone Wars in the theaters.
No,
No,
not the
the
movie, the series.
The animated
Well,
series.
I'm just
as a
saying,
run-
sir, when
run-
we're talking about these movies and you list the Clone Wars,
I said
you know,
material. I had Star Wars. I said the
He
material.
I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Okay.
Jesus
And also,
Christ.
my
I will say
under-
Clone Wars. I do. I mean, not Clone. I will
That
say
movie sucked.
That
you're
movie's
right,
terrible.
Yeah,
Movie's
but
terrible.
it
And
got.
I went opening day.
I did too.
Me
But
too.
the show got legs. It got better. It got
Yeah, I've heard
really
the show was
good.
Great.
The season 2 onward is really good. Rebels is supposed to be really good too. And you look at, we do get some other stuff like the Rise. I like the Rise, but yeah, it's like hopefully
the High
getting away from
Republic
the-
does sound interesting.
High Republic Initiative sounds pretty neat. I haven't none of the books are out
I
yet.
wasn't a huge fan of that video.
I didn't watch a video. I
Yeah,
just read
but
an
it was
article.
a cheap promo video. I didn't really
They
care.
had like a bulletin board of like things that are essential and had like inclusivity written on there and diversity. It's like, before we get to that, there's another thing called like character.
Well, okay, so I might step aside from that because what happens a lot of times, and this is what has happened in some.
Some guy in a suit walks in and goes,
Well, no, this is what happens with has happened with some Marvel things too. I think is you take something that wasn't written necessarily with inclusivity in mind and you wedge that in. It feels like, oh, this is a token. It is wedged in. But if you go in with that mindset, we're going to have, a diverse character base, then you can properly write for that character
If
base.
you get into the bones, it will be a better structure.
Yeah, it won't feel like, oh, we did it because we have to. We
Plus,
did it because we
it's,
wanted.
it's also a marketing trailer. It wants you to know from the outset inclusivity and diversity in the trailer.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily, we don't know what the actual mandates were to the writers and producers of the material.
Yeah.
So, but it is a very shotgun-y approach because it's being spread across a bunch of different publishers. There are even comics coming out from IDW and some Marvel.
Which is
and also
shocking.
Marvel comics.
I'm really surprised that they would still be willing to go to a different comic book publisher.
They've done some stuff with IDW, but it's usually been like younger audience targets, which I
And-
guess this is going to be too, probably.
I kind of figured that would, as contracts ran out, that would go away though. But apparently,
Well,
no.
they started those contracts after Marvel. So basically, Marvel does all the main continuity, regular age, regular target audience Star Wars stuff, whereas they put all the kids stuff over to IDW.
Okay. Well, but I guess the best thing about it, whoever gets it, whether it's whoever's putting it out, is putting it in this era. Takes the balls off the garden.
Yeah.
We're not stuck with the history that has been built up with Skywalker and all this stuff.
Yeah.
we could do anything.
yeah, go like 2,000 years in the past or 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
Let's,
I mean, they had to do that with Star Trek. The Next Generation was the biggest breath of life that
Like-
franchise had, and it's because it got away from Kirk and Scotty and Bones and all
Yep.
of that, and and then that probably was the mistake that J.J. Abrams made, was going back to that, because everybody had expectations, including me. You can't do Wrath of Khan like that.
the main point.
Don't disrespect.
I don't care where they go in that series. Please don't make a Mary Sue or a Gary Stu again. We've had 3 films of a Mary Stu. Please don't fall
Yeah,
into that trap.
I would love that too, but I don't know.
I don't want
No.
any more Gary Stews or Mary Stews. Okay?
But I didn't want to see any Jedis or lightsabers in The Mandalorian, and I don't think that we're going to get that either, because we already got.
We got the dark saber. We don't have a
And-
lightsaber.
Well, and we already got a force powerful
But is
character
there
at the
Mary
center of it.
Stews in that show though?
Not
Or
yet.
Mary
No.
Stews?
Not yet.
No.
No. Except Yoda, he's always able to do the right thing at the right time.
Yeah, but he's a baby. He
Come
doesn't
on,
have-
baby.
That
do
makes it
magic
better.
and
He doesn't
things.
have
Baby
a
Sue.
character. It's not like it's not like everything he did was perfect. Got kidnapped.
Oh, well. Okay.
Yeah, but every
Wasn't
time the
able to
Mandalorian
save-
got in trouble, like
He saved
really
the day.
bad trouble, he's like,
Baby Yoda was very much a Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Deus
Yeah.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Gary Stu.
All right.
all right. So, but the one thing about the Iger thing though is it happened so suddenly. Usually when that happens, it means somebody's sick,
Well, I knew.
and I was afraid, oh Lord, he's got
There was-
cancer or
there was
something.
some discussion.
No, this was planned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
there
just
was some.
didn't know it was so sudden.
Well, there was some discussion last year that Iger said that they were going to look for the next CEO.
Yeah.
But the announcement is like, hey, we found it. It's this guy. He's taking over today.
Yeah, it's the immediacy
it
of
was
it is
so
what I'm talking.
quick.
But it's
Yeah,
like,
it
hey,
was
I'm
like-
stepping down today. He's moving in, taking my name off the office.
Bye.
Yeah, it was. It's not like effective next month. It is the immediacy.
It was
of
effective
It's really
yesterday.
surprising. Yeah.
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 Bob Iger basically just said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
That's pretty much what he said.
But he's not. It's like, I'm going to move offices over there.
Exactly.
No. Well.
All right.
So-
We'll see how it goes.
Next story. We're not done with Indy yet.
No,
there were rumors for a while, at least in early 2019, that Indiana Jones would be heading to 4K Blu-ray release, including apparent artwork leaks, but Paramount has yet to announce anything. Rumor is, though, that Disney has given Paramount access to the Lucasfilm archives for the source material for an upcoming special edition release of the Indiana Jones films on Blu-ray and 4K Blu-ray.
Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
Now to
Paramount logos at the very beginning.
They better.
They
have to.
Yeah.
They literally have to.
Just
They have
to
to.
clarify
Don't you dare.
for people who are curious about this, Paramount owns the rights to distribute the first 4 Indiana Jones films, while Disney owns the rights of the property otherwise and will own the rights to the 5th movie.
Isn't that changing? Like at 2021 or 20
don't-
something like that?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But Paramount will apparently want to capitalize on an upcoming Indiana Jones theatrical release, as well as the 40th anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark. So that's a good reason for them to make some extra money.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, we've seen the 4K DCP of Raiders.
Yeah.
What did you think about it?
It's fine.
It's fine.
I mean, I wasn't blown away, but also we haven't seen it with HDR applied.
That is true. This is kind of a shock to me because I remember reading this article and saying like, "Oh yeah, they already." The one you posted at least it said they already have 4K masters of all 3, and I was sitting there going, "Whoa, this is
That's news.
information." Because
Yeah.
when the Blu-rays came out in 2011 or was it 2012, one of the two. If Raiders definitely got a 4K remaster, that's when they did that one, and then Temple of Doom and Last Crusade were in such good condition as is in terms of the prints, they went ahead and just did a 2K master. So now upon this information is they've gone back again
And rescanned them in
and
4.
rescanned and remastered again.
So if we didn't learn anything else from It's a Wonderful Life, we learned that when Paramount gets serious about rescanning something, shit looks good. I mean, it looked like, if you want to see something amazing when it comes to like the restoration, you got to look at the documentaries on It's a Wonderful Life, the 4K. I mean, what they did with that film is incredible. So if they rescan those 2 films, I want to see that.
I mean, I'd be very curious, especially color density and HDR.
Yeah. HDR is the thing. It's not the 4K resolution. It's going to be the HDR.
The 5.1 mixes, or would they bump them up to Atmos?
So I think they'll have to bump them up to Atmos. I mean, that's becoming the standard for 4K physical media release.
Especially, I can think of a lot of instances where in Atmos, and
Would be cool.
especially in Raiders, those shots underneath the truck, you have the truck sounds like that.
I really want to hear that ball like rolling through all the speakers. Too.
Well, I mean, that is another cool moment in the 5.1. That's a really cool effect.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it'd be like in Atmos. But,
Yeah.
I mean, this is almost, you say Paramount might be in charge of this, but Disney is. I feel like Disney somehow has their hands in this. And
So if Disney did the rescanning, I'm not as confident
But-
because the Star Wars movies don't look all that good.
that's what I'm saying is
They don't look
we
good.
Get those on 4K Blu-ray and we can see, okay, we have a 4K Blu-ray of Star Wars. Let's compare it to the stream.
Yeah.
And we can legitimately do.
Yeah, because somebody called me. He's like, "Oh man, that Star Wars Disney Plus 4K looks good."
Detail-wise, yes.
And we pulled it up over here, and it's like, meh.
Detail-wise, it
think
looks
it's
Because
good.
we
Yeah.
pulled it up on our TV and it's like,
Color-wise.
what's this circle that keeps going in the middle of the screen?
Color-wise, it's
Yeah.
and then there is no HDR on that. It
Yeah.
is an SDR to HDR wrapper.
Yeah, it looks like crap to me.
And
It doesn't look
literally,
good.
You could point a camera at a calibrated TV and have the numbers to see. Yeah, there's no HDR brightness. It doesn't go
Yeah.
over 200 nits.
But I'm just excited to have a nice 4K set of the indie films, the first 3.
The 3 Indiana Jones movies.
I mean, if we could get that later this year, and then we're getting the Back to the Future set, this will be a great year for me.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is supposed to be happening this year.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
Why? I was keeping it from
I
you
need
for a reason.
A 3rd release of the extended set of Lord of the Rings.
There better be
Now, I can tell you.
There better be another disc in there. I'm just saying.
Well, I can tell you what probably is going to happen with me, because we were just discussing this regarding the Star Wars box set. Because you know that big Star Wars box is coming to $300 for all
Yeah.
the films. I like
All
the
of them.
fanboy in me was like, click, pre-buy, pre-purchase, whatever. But the more I thought about it, the more I realize and know that I will only ever watch the original trilogy. I tried to watch the prequels not long ago and I couldn't get through them. So what I'm going to do when they come out is just buy the original trilogy on 4K and keep my nice Blu-ray set with all the bonus features that's back there.
No exclusive bonus features to that giant set.
So there's no purpose to have the giant...
For the Star Wars set.
For the giant Star Wars set, yeah.
I don't know if there's any new bonus features on the discs individually. I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not.
Unless Disney was like, all right, let's get everything we can find about these and throw it in, which would be...
God help me.
I need to look into the 4K release of the Lord of the Rings set. It's probably going to be just like the Blu-ray, where it's just a Blu-ray version of the extended sets. I don't think there was any real new material on the Blu-ray.
There was an extra disc.
Yeah, there was one extra disc. That was it. But if there is substantially more stuff, or just any more stuff, I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to get it.
Well, I'm expecting...
You're going to get it anyway.
I'm expecting to do what I'm going to do with the Star Wars, is get the 4Ks.
Yeah.
They're all 2K.
So it'll be upscale, but it'll have HDR.
It'll have HDR,
which could be huge for the films. It'll be gorgeous. So probably what I'm going to do is the same. I'm going to get like the stripped down 4K set of the Lord of the Rings, and then get the extended set because I don't have it right now.
Yeah,
and just to get all the bonuses.
You know what else you can get?
A lot of things. Oh, Tina, this is your week. This is your week for physical media releases because Color Out of Space is out in Blu-ray and
so
4K.
Oh,
your favorite film of 2020 right now. You get that 4K. You see all of those beautiful colors. Oh. Knives Out is also on Blu-ray.
Wait, I'm not saying that they don't die on here.
Huh?
What?
What?
No.
What?
Oh, her favorite movie.
Your favorite film. No. We all know your favorite film.
He also said 2020, not 2019.
Yeah. So the Knives Out is on Blu-ray, 4K, and in 4K Steelbook.
Because the closest one to us is in Bowling Green.
Which is basically an hour away.
I am legit, probably going to make a road trip just to get it.
No.
If you do it, let me Venmo you. Because Ada won't do it. But if you do it, I'll Venmo you money. Because I want it too. It is a beautiful steelbook.
It's so pretty. It looks like his blood.
If you look on the spine, it even has the character's name in the author section. It's just little details that make it look beautiful. All right, so also Hot Dog, the movie, unrated producer's cut. I hate it when you get a producer's cut. Paris is Burning is also out. Pet Sematary 2 is out in a collector's edition. The Hunt for Red October 4K Steelbook is out. I don't like the look of that Steelbook, but I want the 4K. One Missed Call Trilogy. I have that back here. I'll be reviewing it this week.
To preface with the One Missed Call, it is a Japanese version, not the shitty American version.
Exactly. It is a Takeshi Miike version. Or at least the first film. Did he direct all three of those films, Zach? One Missed Call?
No, I think he
No,
just the first one.
He just did the first one.
Yeah, just the first one.
Are kind of...
It'll be interesting to revisit. Amazing. Yeah, the first one is fantastic. I love the first one. Okay, also, all the Daniel Craig movies, Bond movies are out in 4K.
Except for the one that's not yet.
For the one that's not yet. And then a bunch of
Ultraman
shit.
I love that
one. Because I didn't want to type it all. There's so many Ultraman releases coming this week. Yeah. Mill Creek is really taking advantage of that Ultraman license.
Yeah.
Basically, anything you want Ultraman is out there in a steelbook this week.
I think you skipped over it, but also the Frozen 2.
Frozen 2 Blu-ray, I did skip it.
Yeah, that 4K is the Ultimate Collector's Edition.
It's the ultimate?
That, according to the box, is the Ultimate Collector's Edition, which is to say the only edition you can buy.
Yeah.
Because there's no other version out. It's not like this is the super nice one.
Disney has started doing this weird multi-screen tag on some of their packaging too. I'm like, why are you putting multi-screen? We all know you have a digital code, a Blu-ray, and we know this, but it's got a weird tag on it now. All right, so what do we get in comic books?
So comics this week. So we're doing our comic list on our website differently for the time being.
It's fresh.
We highlight 5 comics that are coming out this week. You give descriptions, let you know who the writer and artist team is, so that way you can get it's a bit more informative about certain books.
Ones that we think you should read.
Yeah, ones we think you should read versus a just blanket list of everything that's coming out.
Picks, you could say.
Kind of, yeah.
Exactly.
So if you want to read more about those, the titles you can find on CultureSmash.tv right now are from Marvel, The Falcon and Winter Soldier, 1 of 5, a miniseries. Also from Marvel, Giant Size X-Men, Jean Grey and Emma Frost, number 1. Over on DC, we've got Leviathan, Dawn, number 1, which is a spin-off of the Leviathan event that happened last year with Brian Michael Bendis writing. Also, from Image, we have Sex Criminals number 27. It's the
I like the cover art for that one too.
It's a good cover
It's a
art.
great story.
It's the last. It's the second issue in the last arc. The book is ending in 3 issues. I think it's ending at 30.
Oh wow.
And then over at IDW, it's too late for us now. We've ended. We've since ended. This is all
That's
just
true.
postscript.
Exactly.
And over at IDW, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Jenica, number 1 of 3, which is about the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
I will say, so the thumbnail that I got, the little preview that I got that you guys posted earlier
Yep.
with the new comic listing, it had the screenshot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but underneath it said Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, the comics are listed alphabetically.
I was
Yeah.
very confused.
But Steven picked for the thumbnail
because that one scrolled the best on the screen.
It is
That's the
a
reason I
good
picked
one.
it.
I like
Yeah.
it. It's very
But
captivating.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
That little snapshot, that little thumbnail. I was like, that doesn't look like
You gotta read to learn
Keep
more.
you on your toes. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you also have a link there on the article to the complete
Yes.
combo book list if anyone
So
wants.
check out more CultureSmash.tv.
Exactly.
We lost Zach.
Yes.
I think he had a pee.
Also, starting in March, I'm going to try to submit book reviews.
That's next month.
Yeah,
Yes, that's in like 4 days.
exactly.
Yes.
So what do you anticipate your first review is going to be?
Well, there's one coming out in March called All Your Twisted Secrets. That
I like the title.
Yeah, that I've already pre-ordered. I don't know if I can keep it geeky enough, but there's also one called Queens of Geek that's been out for a decent while.
I don't. Mike, when he was writing book reviews, he would just write reviews of whatever
Yeah.
he's reading, so it doesn't matter to me.
So
You
I
can-
think I might do that. Oh my god, there's so many books that I'm going to read. It is not even funny, and it's terrifying, and the library's gonna hate me.
Oh, is that where you're getting? You're checking your books out from the
Yeah.
library?
Some of them.
Some of them, Nico doesn't stop me from going into the Amazon bookstore in time. So,
Nope.
but yeah, so start looking for those. Come
Awesome.
March.
How many books is it you are set to read this year? What are you trying to do?
I am set
50.
to read 50. I have
You read
knocked out
fast.
12.
Oh wow, you're doing pretty good.
Yep.
Nah,
Only
better.
one of them that I've hated. So
Okay. Well, but you finished it, even though you hated it.
yeah,
That's a trial.
yeah.
All right. Well, so where do we find you on the internet?
Tina?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter, doing small little snippets of the books that I read at Cheddar Popper, CheddarPoppr. And you can find my regular Instagram if you want to stalk me in my personal life, Novinity Avalon.
Cool.
You can find me on all fine our social networks, Twitter and Instagram, under Nico Scream, mostly talking about D&D and comic stuff.
Cool. And you can find me on all things Culture Smash. Mostly the Culture Smash stuff is on Facebook and Off the Shelf Movie Night. I actually was requested by a viewer to do more bonus feature breakdowns on stuff. So I'm doing that now. It's a new series where I'm going to, which is fine with me because my favorite part anyway of physical media releases is the bonus features. I have one right now for Gemini Man. And a whole lot more. And I got a whole pile of Arrow Video stuff here.
Yeah.
From the sale that we'll be going over. So
And for Zach, I know you can find him.
He's-
I'm
he's-
a Dangerous Mute Lunatic on Steam.
Yep.
Wow,
And
look at
Master
you.
of
He is
the
right now.
Matrix.
91
91, not 69. Tina.
On
That's
Insta-
a bad-
on
that's a
Instagram.
whole different channel.
So,
All right, close enough. You did it
yeah,
pretty good.
There.
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.